talking props, really.
They're just NPCs
Yeah.
that are kind of there.
Like, all the Fallout games have had them. Like, Fallout 4 had so many of them. That's because it had to fill in its cities. Another thing, and I think it just suffers from trying too many things. Like, a lot of people can enjoy when a game tries a lot of new things. Like, that's why I like.
World's
That's
up.
why I liked the idea of the new Terraria game that got canceled after a large amount of development.
What is this? Unleveled
Wait,
mod.
what happened?
Player HD position. Some
He
styles
just
won't
did
show
not
here.
like how it was going.
What is
Even
this?
after,
Is this the
almost
unleveled thing?
3 years
Oh,
of
it's gone.
development, they did not like how it was going.
Oof.
What was
Okay, I'm not going to use the Iron Heart this time.
Throw it away. Throw it away. Just throw it away.
Starter bag. Click.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's use that.
Oh yeah, it gives you the same shit. I forgot.
But
I'm waiting until you get on before I click the button. I'm terrified to click the button.
what, Revengeance?
Yes.
It doesn't really do anything to begin with.
I know.
It does make the game harder, but
It's just like,
shoes. That's the wrong one. I'm looking for pants. But 76 isn't a bad game. It's a bad Fallout game.
Yeah.
It does not fit into the series at all. The end. That's how I see it.
okay. So how do I use the mods?
What other mods do we have on that my other one doesn't? 2 mods. Oh, that's missing 2 mods. And then 1 new mod.
How do you use the unleveled mod?
Oh, well, that's the wrong thing. Multiplayer. Join via Steam.
How do you use the unleveled mod?
Push enter and then type /unleveled.
Ow! Oh. Fraxy? Know this bar appears on your character. Cycle forward. What? What do you look like? You look like something weird. Zelda? Zelda PH. Zelda. Zelda!
There's quite a few Zelda health bars. I'm using one of them.
3. L sword. Ooh. L sword's cool. Galaxy. Mario Galaxy.
I highly recommend
Metroid
not messing with the
Prime?
enemy health bar because it's annoying.
KH style level health bar. I don't even see the health bar now. Oh, it's around me.
So should we go ahead and use the Revengeance thing?
Yeah.
Who's using it? Me or you? Oh. Cool. Alright, Dan. Allow me to explain things that are now different. Currently, I believe we take about 20% less damage from everything.
Party UI style?
I don't know.
Whoa, what's the circle thing around me?
Okay,
It's still there.
That's your health bar, I believe.
Oh, it's gone
You
now.
have a second health bar on, I think. Yeah.
Goddamn slimes!
I think 76 has potential to become a good game.
I like
It's
this
just stuck right now behind some rather greedy developers.
Yeah.
I mean, Bethesda's Bethesda. They can do what they want at this point. They don't really suffer from doing that. It's a kind of a shame, but whatever. We ignored it, and now we're suffering because of it. I mean, they've done a lot of crappy things recently. Like, a lot of really crappy things recently, but... Oh well. Too late for us to do anything about it. But, like, I think the problem.
I'm gonna do life
with
gems. Life gems is
now-
nice.
Problem with game companies now is that they don't realize what they're doing. They just do it, and that's it. They don't care like what people think of it. They just make it and say whatever. I'll make money. Battlefield 5 is probably the most obvious example of that ever.
Mhm.
When, you know, like the idiotic lead developer said, if you don't like our game, if you don't like the idea of the game, don't buy it. Nobody buys it. Oh.
Oh. Insert Pikachu meme.
Pikachu meme. But Battlefield 5 is... I don't know if the game's good.
Death! We're not
I've
gonna use
never
that, right?
taken- No, we're not gonna use that. We do not need death mode.
Defiled
Death mode
Rune?
is- No.
I'm just making sure I can toss these.
No, we're not using that. That is bad. I mean, we can always spawn them back in if we ever feel like actually using them. But no. I'm keeping my Revengeance thing just for decoration. But Battlefield 5 did something that I feel historical games shouldn't do.
What?
Be extremely historically inaccurate.
Fair point.
Oh
It's
crap.
also suffering from a
Oh, well.
wonderful bit of oversaturation of Nazis. Guess what, game developers? We're tired of World War II content again.
We've had enough of it.
Call of Duty brought it back. Battlefield was like, ooh, we can do that too. And then everyone was like, no, because World War II was like a fine game. What was it?
So how bad is nighttime?
Well, keep in mind, Dan, for now we take 20% less damage until we kill a boss. It's fine. It's just normal extra mode with a little bit of resistance.
Okay, good.
We do drop like most of our coins though. Like literally all of them, pretty much.
So piggy bank is good first investment.
Yeah, we get coins really fast. Like, I would go from having none to like 3 gold without even noticing. But Battlefield 5 is very historically inaccurate, just so they can be like, I guess inclusive is the right word. Okay, friggin' whatever. You want to have female representation in your game, cool, whatever. Don't do it in World War II where women were not represented at all. They weren't represented on the freaking battlefield because, hey, guess what? There were no women on the battlefield. World War II was fought by like 99% men. 99. There were a few women from like other sides, not America.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there were women
There were
in
nurses
there.
and stuff.
Yeah,
There were,
nurses.
like, people doing like nurses and
Yeah, like the
people
war
working in
nurses,
factories.
but they weren't.
Nobody was out. No, like women weren't out there like carrying guns, killing people.
Yeah, women typically weren't on the battlefield during World War II, if I remember correctly. Like if I know
Especially not from America.
Yeah.
Maybe from like France, because they were weird during World War II. They're still weird, but they were really.
They're
weird
rioting
during World War II.
24/7.
Yeah. But not only that, the trailer that like ticked everyone off was like one of the like reveal trailers of the game, which focused on a woman. Okay, whatever. You have a woman in your World War II game. Whatever. Call of Duty had a woman in their World War II game. She was French. Whatever. Okay, cool. Nope, doesn't stop there. So, you know, just to make it even more unrealistic, she's got a prosthetic arm.
Was that a thing in World War II?
I'm sorry, but no, they weren't. Especially not on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's something. Not the prosthetics, but that's something that's like the only thing that really bugs me about Assassin's Creed Syndicate is that there are female soldiers.
Assassin's Creed dropped their historical accuracy just to make fun games at this point. Because they realized how to make fun games by scrapping something they don't need.
But that's fair.
Assassin's Creed,
That's fair. But it's something that kind of nags at me. It's just like, I know they're not going for historical accuracy. That's obvious at this point. But it's just,
You can unlock unicorns and giant Q-tips and stuff.
well, yeah.
Really stupid crap. They've realized that they have potential to make fun games. Battlefield was already fun. They didn't need to drop anything to make their games fun, because Battlefield 1 was historically accurate and fun. Another thing. Cricket bats with barbed wire wrapped around them. That's apparently a weapon that's used in Battlefield 5. I'm sorry. No. This is not guerrilla warfare. We don't just use anything we can.
Well, I mean,
this is World War II.
Well, there are people who would, use anything they could in World War II.
I know, but like World War I was the war where they were using anything they could. No. Well, yes, I have two.
That's
World
like
War I was the war of do what you can to win. That's what that was. World War I was like they were taking freaking 10 cans, putting pipes in them, and saying that's a gun. And it works. That's how we got the machine gun, pretty much.
You're not
They
wrong.
took long metal pipes, like big, like metal pipes, put smaller metal pipes in them, rang bullets up in them, and said, "There you go." World War II was actually a pretty sophisticated war. We were kind of grounded into what we were doing at that point. We weren't stuck in this like weird transition period of like old weaponry and new weaponry. We were like just dipping our toes into some new ideas, but mostly just dealing with what we already had. We weren't coming out of the freaking Civil War era crap, like recovering from that. We weren't doing that anymore. I mean, yes, that was a long time before World War One. I know, but we were still recovering from it from that point. World War II was different. World War II was more of a real world war than the First World War. Because, I mean, originally World War I was not called World War I, it was called the Great War.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. But
because nobody knew there would be another.
But if you're going to make a video game based off of World War II or World War I, especially World War II, like, literally the most popular war, really, aside from the Civil War, it is the only war that people really look forward to learning about in school. I know it's the only one that I give a crap about because it's fun. World War II was freaking crazy.
The only real
it's more the stuff that happened outside of the war that was crazy than the actual war itself. The war itself was just a freaking cliche, people fighting people type of war. Nothing crazy happened in the war except for America innovating explosives.
America, America.
America literally becoming the most,
That's probably evil.
I mean, at the time we were recognized as the most, like, feared place on the planet because we had created the most powerful weapon ever. And then suddenly everywhere else on the planet realized that we can also do that. That's something that not really worries me, more just like makes me realize that equality is something that's always gonna happen. Like, as cheesy as it is, that freaking Godzilla line, a power to restore powers, that's always gonna happen. People will restore balance whether they like it or not. One side of the planet makes this cool new thing, the other side of the planet will do it too.
Yeah,
which is then why the Cold War then ended up.
Have you guys heard of the TV show Timeless?
It wasn't a real war, no, it was the Cold War.
The Cold War was hilarious because it wasn't a real war.
It was literally just America and Russia saying that each of them had the bigger dick, but neither of them actually
I was just thinking that exact expression.
Neither of them had the balls to actually whip it out in fear that the other one actually did have a bigger dick.
It's literally just like, hey, we got a bomb, and Russia's like, we also got bombs, and they're both like sweating in their like nuclear silos, like, please don't, because I want to do it first, but also I think if I do it first, then you're gonna freak out and be like, no. So it was really just a back and forth fear fest of like everyone being all like, no communists again, because the Red Scare was interesting because the Red Scare happened how many times in history? Just under different names?
It happened a lot.
But yeah, have you heard of the TV show Timeless?
I believe so.
It changed channels several times, but it was about, you know, people, someone made a time machine and they were going back trying to fix history from people destroying history.
Remember when Doctor Who was randomly on Disney for some reason?
Oh.
And then they just stopped doing that because they realized, oh wait, the show's a bit dark.
Yeah. But one of the things was that the guy who made the machine was talking about how there's no real point to destroy the machine because some 12-year-old girl in some room across the country will just figure out the way to make it again. And then the last scene of the TV movie, which was the very last episode, quote-unquote, was a teenage girl in her room writing plans to build a time machine.
As freaking wacky as that is in shows, it's kind of scary how true that is. People don't realize how smart, just kids can get. They can learn this crap so unbelievably quickly. Mostly because they do learn stuff faster than adults do.
Mm-hmm.
If they have access to this stuff, they will eventually learn it. It just depends on where they are at, intelligence-wise. If they physically are incapable of figuring it out, whatever. That's that. But, you give them the time, a kid could learn how to defuse.
How many stars did you pick up?
2.
Gimme.
People adapt, people learn, people figure out that, hey, those people that are scaring us are also just people. In the end of the day, what one human can do is what another human. Just because they have more money than you does not mean you can't eventually do it. That just means they can do it faster. And probably legally.
I don't know. That depends.
Stop America.
America.
Since when has the law ever stopped America?
America.
Now, skipping all controversies about our current president and whatever, all of our presidents make stupid decisions literally every year. Oh well, we can't stop it. Everyone hates everyone. The end.
That's fair.
You liked Barack Obama? Oh, that sucks. I hate him. Oh, you like Donald Trump? Oh, that sucks. I hate him.
They both did terrible things.
They're both stuck in this rut of being either hated as president or hated as a person. Doing your job well, whatever, cool. You kind of have it.
Donald Trump, though, I hate as both, honestly.
I don't really care what he does as a president because it doesn't affect me in the slightest. What his vice president does, whatever. It didn't work. Whatever. Cool. What they tried, terrible.
Obama was not a good president. He
Obama
was not a good leader.
Really bad president.
But he's a chill dude. As a person, he's a chill dude.
What I think America needs as a president is someone who can realize that, hey, I can have fun and still be good at my job at the same time. I can still take responsibility for the crap that I've done and the crap that other people have done and the things that I need to do and still have fun while doing it. Hey, let's actually make America great again. Not by just making it a place that we can live in again, but by also making it a place that's fun to live in again. Let's start by saying minimum wage is stupid.
Agreed.
3, 4, 5.
Because literally, when a business pays minimum wage, it's basically saying, if we were legally allowed to pay you less, we would. Because if a business pays you minimum wage, if minimum wage was lower, they would be paying you lower. And it's BS.
A lot of it has to do with the amount of workers and the amount of income that restaurant actually gets.
Yeah.
McDonald's, the reason why they usually do minimum wage is because they're low-skilled workers. I can tell you that right now. You don't need anything to get into that job. You can literally just say, hey, can I work here? And they're probably going to be like, sure. We have 2 deaf people working in there. They are not qualified to work anywhere else. That's what I mean. You can get into that job with literally anything. As long as you can do this thing right here, as long as you can freaking talk and push buttons, you can work at McDonald's pretty much. So it makes sense why they're paying minimum wage, because they are low-skilled workers. I'm a low-skilled worker when it comes to like actual jobs. I don't have very many skills when it comes to most jobs.
I need more stone.
No experience.
It's not a specialization job. There you go. It doesn't require specialization. You can get specialization. You can get better at the job. You can get more. Like you can get used to how it's done. And yeah, you'll get a raise eventually.
How much stone do you have?
It won't be that much. I have none.
And like it definitely makes sense for businesses like McDonald's. They're mostly made to be entry-level jobs.
And they're good entry-level jobs, as long as you don't get a crappy McDonald's. And I've kind of dropped the whole moving to Kroger thing, because guess what? As soon as I put in my 2 weeks notice, they kind of fixed everything. It's like, come on. I was just trying to leave. And now you're suddenly like, no, come back. No. Like, apparently they gave me a freaking raise the day I put in my 2 week notice. It's like, oh.
Wolframshire.
So, yeah, I'm staying for now until they do something even worse. But they've been doing good, so. I'm trying to hold them accountable, but holding someone accountable that's, like, way above is pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
I know that kind of goes against what I just said earlier, but it's McDonald's. It's a bit different.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
We're, like, right on top of a, little house thing. Like, not even that far underground, either.
But,
I've heard.
Most, like, fast food restaurants will pay minimum wage.
Yeah.
Mostly because they are publicly owned, and they don't require much. Privately owned restaurants will usually pay much more. Mostly because privately owned restaurants means that's probably the only one that exists.
Yeah, but like a big restaurant chain is probably going to pay you less.
I mean, it depends on what kind of restaurant chain, but fast food restaurants, yeah.
Yeah.
Then there's like the restaurant that my dad works at, and like the 10 sister locations that exist. High-paying jobs, but that's because they are high-tier restaurants. Like, I've been in his, and I was amazed at how it was like just set up, looked, presentation, everything. And then I tried swordfish. I ate swordfish. You know, that's not really something you'd think to eat until you do, and it's like, that's different. It's very different than what you'd think most fish would be like. Like, fish usually has like a specific texture, but that one's like, it's like the normal fish texture on the outside, but on the inside it's much more like soft and almost mushy sometimes. Some people say like, ew, gross too, but it's like, me, it's like, no, it's fish, therefore it is good.
Fish are friends, not food.
Shut up, man.
See, I'm just not a big fish fan in general when it comes to eating.
I've just always loved fish. Maybe that's because as a kid I got my head twisted into like, fish is like really good for your brain. It is, but I thought like it was like amazing for your brain and like was really good to eat before tests. It's like, no, you're still gonna do the exact same if you eat fish or not. That's why I dropped that whole crap, but I do eat fish. I love fish. If you have a really enticing fish dish at your restaurant, I'll eat it. Problem is, they're usually like $50 half the time, so.
True. Yo, you need to try, honestly, you need to try some of my parents' cooking. They are phenomenal cooks.
Dan, I will never eat a single steak that any of his parents cook, because my God, how his family cooks steak disgusts me.
I normally
Well done
don't
is the
steak.
only way to eat steak. It's
Well done
fully
is
cooked
terrible,
meat.
Dan.
It's
Well
fully
done is
cooked
horrible.
meat.
Literally everyone in my family despises well done. I am probably the most, and when it comes to that, I just hate it. It's dry, it's missing most of its flavor.
It's the best flavor. Fully cooked.
No flavor?
No, it
flavor.
has the most flavor.
It has no flavor. It's got nothing in it. It's just you're eating leather at that point.
What does that sound?
Ugh. Ew.
What sound?
Ew,
Does that mean low
that's
health?
I think you might have something that indicates low health. I turned it off because it's annoying. Is it like beeping?
Yeah.
Yeah, no health. Again, I turned it off because it was annoying. But anyways, back to what I was talking about before I got into fish and steak rant. Like working at McDonald's requires nothing. Working at high-end steakhouse requires a lot. And you usually have to be an adult.
Yeah.
Another thing with the fast food restaurants is that they can hire kids. Like, you can get hired when you're like 15 at McDonald's. Usually not, but you can. Like, most of the youngest people there are 16. I was 16 when I joined. I am 17 now. But
yeah.
when I joined, I was 16. Most people there are either 16 or 17. It's a surprisingly low amount of adults there, aside from all of the managers, who kind of have to be adults.
Fair point, yeah.
But you'd be surprised that apparently most of the kids working at McDonald's are better at doing their job than the adults are when it comes to the non-managers. Like, a guy that's freaking 30 apparently causes more problems than the 16-year-olds that work there.
Because the 16-year-olds are finding the job more important. This is an entry-level job. This is going to get them into the workforce. A 30-year-old doesn't care because they're like, oh, I'm 30 years old. I could probably get a job somewhere else.
He's also deaf.
Okay, well now you make me feel like a shit person. God damn it, Brenton. I hate you. I hate you. You're a terrible person.
Yeah, like,
you made me feel like a terrible person. Because I said
say something, but that was like a legitimately bad event, and I don't want to talk about that thing again. So.
Oh boy, what?
It was a quarrel that me and her had it one day. I want to pretend it never happened.
What?
It was like a few weeks ago when you and me got into a very heated argument.
Yeah, honestly though, it was an argument that kind of needed to happen.
Oh boy, what was it about?
It was literally just us sharing opinions and realizing that we do not share the same opinions like at all when it comes to most things.
Yeah.
And it got really out of hand. So mostly just because I didn't realize that Kylie was as sensitive as she was. Kylie didn't realize that I am as aggressively honest as I am.
I said
I am very
blunt. You are very blunt.
Yeah. And also because of the fact that, like
I've come to accept that I'm blunt, but most of my friends, well, not most of my friends, select few of my friends have not. And I'm okay with that.
You're blunt.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Damn. I know you know that I'm blunt. You're blunt too.
I think I'm more blunt than you are.
It was also just like, I don't know, there was a lot of things that like annoyed me that Brenton would do that I like never said because Brenton and I are the exact opposites in that I don't like to be honest and blunt because I don't want to hurt people's feelings. And so I didn't
be honest and blunt as long as I'm not hurting your feelings, but if I get into that state, it's best that you stop me while I'm ahead.
Yeah,
that's pretty much all I can say. Because once I start,
I'm kind of like that too. It just really depends on who I'm talking to, though.
Yeah.
Like, even some of my closest friends. Well, then there's people like Cass, who is perfectly okay with me being as blunt as possible because me and him have literally recognized each other as like freaking like siblings at this point. So, like, we're that close to friends that we can literally like piss each other off to the point of like most friends would drop each other at that point, but we're still like. Yeah, we're still cool.
And then you have me and you, who we literally cannot piss each other off at all.
Well, we can. Let's make that very clear.
Okay,
We can.
We can't.
Just not like really pissing each other off, like to the point where we drop each other. That will never happen.
Because like there were times and like things with Brenton that like really annoyed me or like really frustrated me, but because I didn't want to lose him as a friend, I didn't tell him, and then it all kind of came out at once. And yeah.
I think a lot of my friends don't realize that you can freaking like try to tear me to pieces, and I'll be like, thank you. Thank you for being honest with me. Because like, I can tell when most of my friends are hiding something or like not saying something, because usually they will like be silent during like whenever I'm talking about something. They won't like really respond with it because they don't care.
Yeah.
You aren't as bad because you are typically much more like open with your opinions on everything.
Yeah.
But like people who are like, I try to be nice to Addie. I feel like I am nice to Addie, but there are times when I feel like I can't be. That's only over Discord because I cannot be mean to my friends like face to face, because at that point it's just like I feel like I'm doing a crime.
Yeah,
like,
I get
being
you.
mean to my friend like face to face, not like mean, but like saying things that I wouldn't say
2,
verbally.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
I may say
9,
things verbally
12,
that I wouldn't say to
13,
my friends
14,
like when I'm alone.
15,
But
16.
I think literally everyone does that. So.
Yeah.
But like with Addie, she's stubborn. A lot of friends are stubborn.
Here, I know you like these.
Great example of
I have a
friends
perfect example of stubbornness.
Yeah.
But Addie is the kind of stubborn that I wish she could like get away from, and I know that she wants
4,
to.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
But she's
10,
the type of person
12,
that I know
13, 14, 15,
like
16,
is not
17,
willing to accept my help.
18,
Therefore,
20,
I will
21,
not
22,
give you my help.
23, 24,
Yeah.
She's my friend.
25,
I invite her
26,
over
27,
rarely
28,
because she's never available anymore
30,
or
31, 32,
not up to
33,
it.
34.
But the times that I do invite her over and she does come over, it's fun because she's a fun friend. She likes Undertale and all these things that I do. She usually finds things that I do that she usually wouldn't be interested in pretty cool, like Transformers. She still refuses to say that she liked the Transformers 5, but she did. But like, stubbornness doesn't annoy me. It's stubbornness at certain points where it's like you can't manage it at all. Like usually whenever your friend's being stubborn, you can work around it.
Yeah.
But when it's at the point where it's like you literally can do nothing about it and you just have to sit there and accept the fact that your friend is being
1,
stubborn
2, 3, 4,
and like
5,
forcing
7,
it's usually
8,
like
9,
forcing
10,
you to do
11,
things their
12,
way.
Mhm.
14, 15, 16.
I've caught myself doing that and I usually stop.
Yeah, and like I'm guilty of that too, because I am usually like very set in my ways and stubborn in terms of like the things that I believe. And when something challenges that, I get very heated and very passionate about defending my beliefs. And then it just escalates a lot.
Now, I mean, if you play Portal 2 wrong, I'm going to get pissed at you, rightfully so. Because there is a right way to play Portal 2 and there is a wrong way to play Portal 2.
Okay,
What
apparently
is the
I
right
need
way
to
and what is the wrong?
apparently I need to find the
Right
wrong
way
way to play
is-
Portal 2.
The right way is realizing that, hey, the puzzles in this game are complicated, but not that complicated. And literally sitting there for hours, like, where does this cube go? Now, keep in mind, like, every starting player is like that. But if you do that next to me,
1,
I'm
2,
going to be like, get off of my computer
3,
now.
4,
and
5, 6,
you are
7,
no longer my
8,
friend.
9, 10.
No, I would never do that.
1,
But
2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 6,
Like-
7, 8, 9, 10.
stubbornness is fine. Everyone's stubborn in their own way. Everyone says, like, a bunch of people say they aren't. That alone is being stubborn.
I'm not
Saying that
stubborn.
You aren't stubborn. Okay, Dan, literally just a few minutes ago you said you were stubborn.
Are you sure?
No.
Shut up, Dan. Continue.
But like, saying that you're not stubborn is its own form of stubbornness because everyone is selfish in their own way. Unless you absolutely hate yourself. But a lot of people say they hate themselves, but they actually don't.
Yeah.
I had a point where I did, but that's because I was in such a far rut that I thought I could never get out of it. Here I am. Out
Magic.
Of it, so.
Mhm.
High school sucks, by the way, but
It really does.
Yep.
God, I
high
can't
school
wait to
did this to me.
graduate.
High school made me depressed. I'm no longer depressed. I like to think I'm fully recovered. I don't know if I'm clinically fully recovered. I don't know if I was ever clinically depressed to begin with, but clinically depressed is stupid anyways, and I don't think being clinically depressed really matters, because if you were freaking like exhausted doing things that you enjoy, there is something wrong.
Oh,
Yeah,
Savica.
I think
Okay.
the idea of clinically depressed is really just the idea of a doctor giving you medicine to help with depression.
Freaking the psychiatrists near me, like the psychiatrists we went to, are the most useless pieces of garbage.
How come?
They just kept prescribing me to things instead of like actually giving me sessions. It's like,
Seriously?
I'd like some like real mental help, please.
Yeah, when I had to have a therapist, like she actually
never
met
had a
she
therapist.
never once
Oh, you can have that.
she never once gave me medicine. Like, she told me things that I could do to help, like with my issues.
Holy shit! How to get 3 gold?
Because we're in revenge. You want to know, like the 2 things they prescribed to me, I didn't take them. I never took them because I realized, no, that's not gonna work. You just literally writing me a prescription and saying take this is not gonna work. Like, hey, I literally admitted to my parents that I kind of wanted to die, but no, you're just like, take this medicine. No.
Yeah, honestly, like the whole mental health care system is garbage.
It's used for money most of the time. But, like, when you can find good people to do it, it's amazing. Apparently, Addie's found good people to do it. Good for her.
Yeah, and the therapist I had.
Oh my god, so many zombies.
Her name was Jill Sweetman, and she lived up to her last name. She was so sweet and so kind, and like she really did help me. Mostly just because like I needed someone to talk to who I could tell things that I knew, like legally she couldn't tell anyone else. Because even my friends, like that, it could get out to someone. And so like I told her things that I haven't told anyone, and it was just comforting, and it was like getting a weight off my chest, you know?
Oh, you died.
And I dropped like 90% of my gold. Cool. But like, oh damn, that's bad.
What?
You placed wood on our spawn point and it gets destroyed every time we spawn. That's fun.
Oof.
You know what you could do? Instead of like rebuilding all this, just move the floor 1 block down. That's much easier. I hate Demon Eyes. I hate Demon Eyes.
You died by Demon Eye.
I hate them. Yeah, like I unfortunately kind of get awkward around my friends whenever I can like, clearly tell they're in like a depressed state, because a lot of people say like use these starting phrases to figure out like how to get talking. It's like, no, they don't. Usually whenever someone's in like a silent like phase where they just don't want to talk, they don't want to talk. You forcing them to talk is usually going to make them more uncomfortable. If they are perfectly fine with talking, go right ahead. But if they've made it clear they don't want to be talked to, don't force them into talking, because then they're going to get upset.
This is stupid.
And like for me, it's really, really easy to tell when I'm in a depressed state. But like it's hard. Like I can notice when something's wrong with others, but like it's hard for me to accept most of the time that if they don't want to talk, to not try to talk to them, because like I'm the kind of person that's like, wait, let me help you, and then if I can't help, then it makes me like really anxious because I'm like, what's wrong? Is something happening? Are they mad at me? Like, that's just how I am.
I think, like, just depression as a whole is something that requires acceptance from both the victim and then the people that have to deal with the victim. That's
Yeah.
a terrible way of putting it, but that's honestly one of the most true ways of putting it. Because really, like, friends and family especially, have to deal with you being depressed. They literally can't do anything about it. They're sitting there worrying about you, that you're depressed, but they can't do anything about it because they don't know what's wrong most of the time. And even if they do, what, like...
I mean, half the time my family just like
School,
blows
like,
it
what are
off.
they gonna do?
So.
Like, with me, it was school. School was actually causing me to be depressed at that point. What are they supposed to do? Take me out of school? No, they can't do that. They can't. My parents can't homeschool me. They're not at home, like, ever. Homeschooling won't work. And Dan has made it very clear that homeschool sucks. So...
Yes, it does.
I used to, like, if it were up to me, had it been, you know, like 2 or 3 years ago, I probably would have been homeschooled if I was able to. Just
No.
like first off, I didn't know the negatives of homeschooling, and also
He knows.
I'm bullied.
He knows I'm rarely adamant about many things. This is one thing I'm very adamant about.
Yeah, but like I was being bullied really, really badly.
Oh, I was too.
For most of middle school, and so like I really wanted to get homeschooled, and the only reason I couldn't, like I told my mom like I could take, you know, online school. That's like a thing.
Do you have any seeds?
And
what? Seeds?
Yeah, seeds.
the only reason that I couldn't was because my mom said that my dad wouldn't like it. And, you know, at that point, I was like, you know what? I don't care about what my dad wants. He doesn't live here. He doesn't dictate me, but, you know. But now at this point, I'm glad I didn't get homeschooled because otherwise I wouldn't have met y'all amazing people.
Like, the negatives strongly outweigh the positives when it comes to homeschool. Like,
yeah.
When you don't go out, like, ever, unless if your parents are like, hey, let's go out at that point. It's like, you can't go on field trips because...
Well, you can.
It's not
That's what vacations are.
Field trip. It's vacation.
Yeah.
It doesn't... You don't get the experiences. Because school does bring experiences. It brings friends. It brings those stupid things that happen in class that you're never gonna forget because they were that stupid.
Yeah. And like, looking at it now, I'm glad I didn't get homeschooled. I would have missed all the crazy experiences that I've had in my life with all of my friends. I wouldn't have met, you know, you or Cass or Lexi or Ashley or like any of them. I wouldn't have met you, Dan. I wouldn't have met, you know, any of y'all. So like, looking at it now, I'm happy I didn't get homeschooled. But had it been up to me, you know, 3 years ago, I would have been, because I couldn't stand going to school. It made me depressed. The bullying was horrible. You know, I was so stressed about everything. So, but yeah, overall, I'm glad I didn't, because you guys are amazing, and my friend changed my life.
Like a bullying experience. I feel like everyone's most likely been bullied at least once in their life. Maybe not in school, maybe like somewhere else, but
before you came along, I had a lot of it.
I have some bizarre ones. It felt like it wasn't really directly aimed at... Well, no. There was one girl that freaking had it out for me. Like, she wanted me dead half the time. And I hated her. I still hate her. I don't even remember her name.
Who was she? You don't?
It was years ago. It was years ago.
Was it when you lived here?
Yeah, it was, actually. I hated that school. That was, like, the worst school ever.
Oh, come on. You didn't hate all of it.
Woodstock is slightly better.
You didn't hate all of it.
Dan, you left halfway into the year. So
Fair enough.
and I don't remember Abby very well. So
Abby was a flake.
the fact that I remember her name is good enough. She's like the only other person aside from, well, you and me still talk, but I don't remember anyone's name, and I think that's a good thing. But
Oh, I can't tell you how many people's names I remember, and that's not because of my memory. It's because, oh good God, I can't forget them, even though I want to.
there was like this one chick. I swear there was like 2 girls in the class that were pretty much the exact same, except one was so much worse. I feel like all freaking middle school classes. Okay, I can't be the only one that like has had this realization before, but I feel like every school that I've ever been to has the exact same white kid in it, where he has like usually wears like the same freaking white t-shirts all the time with like colored sleeves, has blonde hair, usually.
Oh my God, I know
sides and longer on
exactly
the top.
who you're talking about.
Literally,
I
every
believe his
school
name was
I've ever been
Lane.
to-
I believe his name
every
was
school I've been to
Lane.
Has had a kid like that. Even Woodstock has had like 5 of those. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
It's because it's a certain style, I think. It's like the stereotype. And they're trying to fit into that stereotype.
Like,
Whatever it may be.
even a private school I've been to had 2 of them. And they were pretty cool dudes.
Do you have any medals? Any ores?
Any ores?
Yeah.
I have iron.
Yeah, the bullies at my old school though were horrible. One of them, actually two of them? I think no.
Oh, there's an
aglet
aglet in the chest for you.
Woodstock now.
I already have
3 of
mine.
them go to Woodstock
Oh.
now. It was just 1 during freshman year, but then the other 2 have transferred in at some point. Only one of them really bothers me now. Her name's Aaliyah, if I've ever told you about her.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, she is awful. Just so Dan knows, she basically every day would insult me in Spanish class, and our Spanish teacher was stupid and didn't know anything.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
And so,
Fun fact:
would
the only class in my life that I
not
have an F in
realize-
is Spanish. That's because that teacher was so stupid.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
Yep. So the teacher didn't realize I was being bullied, and so Aaliyah took advantage of that and just relentlessly bullied me in that class. You know, constantly made fun of my weight and all that kind of stuff. And like that was stuff I was really insecure about. Hell, I still am, but like, you know, she really like picked up on it and did not stop. And so I went to the counselor, I want to say, probably over the course of the time I was there, probably close to 70 or 80 times. And it wasn't until my last year there that they actually did anything about it. And what they did was call Aaliyah down into the office and was like, hey, give your side of the story. Aaliyah made me out to be the bad guy. And then, like, I don't even remember, like, exactly what she said, but, like, she made me out to be the bad guy. And then when we went back to class, all of her friends crowded around her and they were like, oh my gosh, Aaliyah, are you okay? You look like you've been crying. And Aaliyah just turns around and she's like, yeah, some people just give me high blood pressure, and looks me dead in the eyes. And I'm like, what does your high blood pressure have to do with bullying me to the point where I want to shoot myself? Like, I'm sorry, I see no correlation here.
Sorry, some people just piss me off. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so
I feel like I would have said the same thing. I would have said, like, if she said that, if I was you in that situation, I would have looked at her. Funny. Me too. And just probably given her like the most fake smile ever.
yeah, the thing is, everything about this chick was so fake. Like, her voice, her smiles,
Like,
her
oh my
laugh,
God.
every word that came. Yes, she sounded exactly like that. She sounded like a stereotypical
White
popular
girl?
white girl, but she was a fat black chick. And I'm
Oh
like,
my God. Okay, I was not expecting you to
I
just
didn't know that
go
part of the story.
straight up like that. Wow. Think of the children. Come on.
so I'm sitting here just listening to this girl going off, and I'm like, honey, nobody actually takes you seriously or likes. And like literally, a couple of the other girls in her group, like they felt bad for me about like what Aaliyah was doing, but they never tried to stop it because like Aaliyah just wouldn't listen to them. And so like they would tell me, they'd be like, yeah, we don't actually like Aaliyah, we don't want her around here, but she doesn't leave us alone. So
I feel like her as like a character is a combination of two of the chicks that annoyed me the most in middle school. Like in appearance and also like personality. Because the personality
I remember
you
the
described
frickin'
first one I was talking about, and appearance you described someone else who had a similar personality. Maybe not fat, but
Oh no, there was one on the bus. That was some nice
there was
bullying.
this freaking dickhead who kept showing up at some point. Like you didn't see him like ever because I think you left before he showed up. But he was like this like pseudo, I wouldn't even say edgy because he wasn't edgy. It's annoying. He was just a guy that seemed like he was trying to be cool, but like realized that hey, literally no one can do anything about me doing anything because I'm like bigger than everyone here. I mean like bigger as in like weight. I mean
Height?
yes, but he was tall. He was really tall, and I
Lewis?
hated him.
Was it
I think he lived
Lewis?
in our neighborhood. He
Because
was really tall, and he was an obnoxious piece of crap.
did he kind of
Sounds a
look
lot like
did he kind of
something
look
I
like
know.
Space Face all the time?
Yeah, he had really like messy hair most of the time too. Remember it being dark colored. Remember he had dark colored hair. He was really big. I think he had like almost like jaw length hair at some point. It's just like, come on, man. He would not leave me alone. I tried to like be like, whatever, but then it's like, hey, you're actually like really annoying. Can you go away?
yeah, I remember one of the girls in Aaliyah's group. Her name was Savannah. Okay, first off, can I just mention the names of the girls in this group sounded like something out of a cliche Disney movie.
Shaquisha?
Savannah, Julia, Giselle.
Giselle.
Giselle. Yes, there was a girl named Giselle.
Hi, I'm gonna name my kid after a Disney movie character.
Except Zootopia came out like years after her, but still.
Well, I'm sure she's still around.
Well, yes, but like, my point
I'll
is,
name my kid after a Zootopia character.
Name
My
it Judy. Or Nick.
they seriously had the most cliche names, like something out of Mean Girls or whatever, you know? And so, every day while I was standing in line for math class, Savannah would walk past me and she'd have like all of her books in her arms, and
Plop.
she would ram into me as hard as she could. Like with all of her books, just throw all of her weight onto me. And I had bruises down my arm because of this chick. And
you're the type of person that would be like, what the hell, Kylie?
yeah, no, that's exactly what she did. That is exactly what she did. Like, she tried to act like it was my fault, and I'm like, just fuck off. Right? And so,
I don't know why when I say that, the first thing that pops in my head is, what the hell, Richard?
and so, eventually, like, she tried to do it, and I stepped
Oh, we have a
backwards
mini
and
desert under
tripped
our house.
Like, eventually, like, I got sick and tired of dealing with her, so I just stepped backward as she came at me and tripped her.
Plop.
And she didn't bother me again after that.
Oh,
except,
she's become aware.
Yeah, except for one time where I was in math class, right? And I heard Savannah bragging about how she had stolen the entire cup of extra pencils from one of the teachers. It was from the math teacher, right? And so at the end of class, we're packing up our stuff. Everyone's gone, right? Everybody's gone. And I hear the teacher say, "Where'd all my pencils go?" So I look at her and I'm like, I heard Savannah talking about how she stole them and then she had thrown them all over the bathroom for some reason. Because Savannah's just a dumbass. And the teacher's like, "Okay, thanks. I'll talk to her." Somehow, I guess she accidentally let slip that I'm the one who told her.
You got hell.
Which is, yeah, not what teachers are supposed to do, but, you know, that whole school was stupid. And so...
It really sounds like our school.
Yeah, and so,
Hey, look, another keg.
Next class, before class starts...
Hermes boots.
It's science class, and I'm sitting at my seat at the lab table, ready to start our assignment. Savannah walks in, taps me on the shoulder, and looks at me, and she's like, "Nobody likes a snitch." And I turn to her and I'm like, "Well, nobody likes a bitch." And the entire class went,
"Oh!"
And she got so flustered, like she didn't know what to say, and she just kind of turned and walked off as if she had won the argument or whatever. And I was like, "Yeah, go nurse your fragile ego."
You make a storage heart. Storage heart is 3 down. Okay.
God, freaking... That's the problem with middle school. It leaks into high school a little bit, but it's so common in middle school. Like, it's not only with guys. Like, guys seem like their ego is more with like what they can do, and more than like I'm popular. Like, freaking the women, not the women. The freaking girls of middle school are honestly some of the worst people I've ever met.
Not all of them. Like,
and the thing is, like, my school didn't really even have a popular group because the way that it was like it was a charter school, right? And so basically, do you guys know what a charter school is?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
So it's basically the parents make enough of a racket about how they want to get a better education, and so the government takes some of the public school funding and gives it to a new school, and they have less money, but they have to get more creative with it. And they basically say, you have more freedom with your curriculum and more freedom to set up your school the way you want it to be, but you have higher standards. And if you don't meet these higher standards, if you don't have higher test grades, if you don't have that kind of stuff, then the school's going to be shut down. And it's supposed to help give kids a better, more flexible education. Really, it ends up being the school where all of the social outcasts are sent who don't fit into public school. My mom was not aware of this when she sent me. She sent me hoping I would get a better education, and also because it was right next to our neighborhood, so it was just closer. So there wasn't really a group of quote-unquote popular girls because nobody was actually popular. We had 150 kids in our grade. Like, everybody knew everybody. So nobody was really quote-unquote popular. Heck, the quote-unquote popular girls, everyone hated. But they just acted like they were the popular girls. They weren't actually...
Magic mirror! I got a magic mirror!
They were infamous, if anything else. So yeah, our whole school was just kind of weird. And I don't even know why these girls picked on me. Like, I was the only one that they picked on for some reason. At one point, I was... What was it? I was walking...
Wee. Oh, okay.
I was walking,
Wee.
we were walking out of PE, right? And we had been playing a game that was like it was like flag tag, where like you have these little flags wrapped around you, and you have to just run around and not get tagged by anyone else. So we're all playing flag tag, as you do, when all of a sudden I look over and I see, lo and behold, Aaliyah cheating. She's not actually, like, doing anything. When her flag gets pulled, she didn't sit down like she was supposed to.
Another magic mirror.
She would just continue running around. So, of course, me being the kid that I am, I will tattletale. And so I went and I told the teacher. And he was like, alright, I'll keep a closer eye on her tomorrow when we play. And so I walked off and went to go and do my thing and change out of my gym clothes. And Aaliyah...
You're not up here.
Aaliyah walks up and she's like, I heard what you said to the teacher. And I'm like, okay, well, you shouldn't have been cheating. And I tried to go to walk off to class. And she blocks the path in the hallway. So, like, I can't get to my next class and she's gonna make me late. So I said, move, and I shoved her out of the way. She responds by grabbing me and bashing my head into the wall.
I feel bad.
And so, you know, now she goes to Woodstock. And I'm, like, when she bothers me, I'm scared to, like, ever actually do anything aside from ignore her or tell her to fuck off. Because, like, she could... Despite the fact that she is fat, she has a lot of weight that she can throw behind her hits. And she uses that to her advantage. And she hurts a lot.
And Brenton, I feel bad.
What?
Because it just dawned on me that the game was too bright.
What?
I had the light hack on since we started. I didn't even realize it.
Oh.
I turned it off. It's off now. I was just... Wait a minute. This game's way too bright. Oh!
First thing that popped in my head when you said... It's like, even though she's fat, she has a lot of weight behind her punches. It's like... It's female black fist.
Ow!
Mean, yeah, so I'm like...
Minecraft, water still hurts.
I'm, like, scared to like, stand up to her now, aside from basically being like, hey, leave me alone. The one time that I did stand up to her, it seemed to work temporarily. But then, like, she just kind of went back at it and did her thing again.
Oh, come on.
But, like, she came up to me and my friends and tapped on my shoulder to, like, try and get my attention, and I turned around to her and I touch me again and I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And she seemed to get really intimidated by that and, you know, didn't...
Oh, intimidation? I got one that's better for you.
Touch me again and I will become you.
I got one that's so much better.
But I mean, it worked, and she didn't bother me for a while, and then all of a sudden, you know...
Words for a while.
All of a sudden, you know, that was about halfway through sophomore year, and then all of a sudden, you know, junior year, she's back at it again. So... You can make
what? You can make Hermes boots with 10 silk.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, here you go. But so I don't know if you remember her, Brenton, but the science teacher in middle school?
Oh no.
The really old one with the EPA husband?
She was one of the bad ones.
I've told you this story. You've heard this story several times, but I intimidated the shit out of her at one point.
Oh, no.
So much that she was afraid for her life. You don't remember this?
I don't feel like I do.
You remember? You have to remember the the time. Okay. So, remember Paper Minecraft, that revolutionary thing on the Chromebooks, because, you know, Minecraft and C++ didn't exist. So, yeah, she was standing behind me for a good 5 minutes while I was just playing it, and it was the day where we did the Weather Channel site. So boring. But, so yeah. She was standing behind me large amount of time while I just did that. And eventually she just took my netbook, because that's what you're supposed to do. Or took my Chromebook. We had Chromebooks at the time. Took my Chromebook because that's what you're supposed to do. But I'm more afraid of my parents than my teachers. So one of the rules with my father was that the thing had to come home and it had to get plugged in every night. And if it didn't, I would get in trouble. And Brenton knows how notorious my parents are for creative groundings. So, being terrified for my own life, I tried to do whatever I could to get the damn computer back. So there was like a 15-minute long back and forth between me and the teacher in front of the whiteboard as people were leaving. And of course, when I get annoyed, I get louder. I don't get more hostile, I get louder.
Yep.
But, so I scared her because I got louder. And the notes that she wrote, because I could overhear the people talking through the frickin' principal's door, that I showed heavy signs of aggression that need to be looked at. Okay, Brenton knows me. I am not an aggressive person. In fact, rage games don't even piss me off.
You couldn't hurt anyone unless if they hurt you first, I feel. Like, physically, like, you would not, like, go out of your way to harm anyone unless if they did something first.
Or it was unintentional.
Well, that's different, because then you aren't going out of your way to do it.
But, yeah, so, that happened.
So that acts of aggression.
And then...
I remember it now, yep.
Oh, but I don't think you ever heard the second part. And then they sent me to the counselor, and I was supposed to talk to the counselor. And it was supposed to help relieve my stress.
I think you did tell me this one. About how, like, no.
But one thing I don't really do to random people who I'm supposed to tell my feelings to is tell my feelings to them. But, like, I know you're supposed to feel all calm and stuff in a counselor's office, but being in a counselor's office just makes me antsy. It makes me just really tense.
All the counselors I've known have been terrible.
But, like...
especially the ones here at Woodstock. I do not like any of them.
The big thing about it was that, like, I ended up breaking down because I had just been having such a hard time at that moment. Like, I'd been grounded for half a year in total that year.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Brenton knows electronics are literally my life. I go crazy without them.
Me too.
I mean, like, literally my life is on the internet. I don't have any social life. I don't have anyone to talk to but my parents, my sister, my nephew, and her husband. So yes, when I don't have the internet, I go crazy. But I lost it in there. I was bawling in there. And they're like, "Oh, it's because my sister moved out recently." It's like, "No, it's because life is shit right now." But aside from that, they tried to give me a card. They tried to give me a card that I could flash to the teacher where I could leave at any point to go to the counselor's office. When the whole point of, like, this card idea, because they believe part of my issue was bullying too, was to get away from the bullies. But the fact of flashing a get out of jail free card would just increase the chance of bullying tenfold.
Freaking everyone that, like, ran that school. I don't know if this is the same school. Is this the same school?
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, Chromebooks. Everyone that ran that school does not deserve to run anything.
Not all the teachers were bad, though. You can't say all the teachers were bad. Mr. Legree was awesome.
Legree was fun. I do remember him. He was
Just like
actually,
the
like,
only
a-
teacher I really remember.
Wasn't he the one that told stories like?
Yeah,
all
he
the
was.
time?
He was the one who used to work at the Charleston haunted houses.
Oh, that's my own grave. He's the one that freaking told the freaking curse of the.
The curse of the
penny.
1983 penny.
And
I
there was the one kid
remember.
that like sat out
The-
of it, not because I was afraid. I just didn't want to hear it. That was one of the few stories. Like, no, it was just stupid. And now I'm like, now I'm curious.
So I'm sure you heard it because he did it for every class. Just slammed his hand down on the table.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that one kid who just screamed when he did that? He did. He freaking got a two. You left. Why'd you leave?
What happened?
Hello?
Brenton? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so
I think
Brenton's
I think
the
we
only one.
I think we just lost Brenton.
I think we lost him. Brenton!
Brenton, come back. Brent, come back. He absolutely hates it when I call him that. I have this thing where I like nickname everyone, but it's more like online than anything else. But one thing I did was I started calling him Brent on everything, and it pissed him off, and it was great. But of course, we can't piss each other off anymore. So
What's my nickname?
you're just Kylie. I don't even know what to nickname you.
I mean, there are so many different things you could.
Brenton's random friend that I talk to the most.
True. Oh,
Hello?
he gone. Oh,
no.
he just went offline. I think his internet crashed, or his parents turned his internet off.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, there you are.
What happened?
Thanks to my internet just randomly deciding to completely shut down.
Yeah, I saw you went offline, and I was like, "Oof, rip internet."
It was like I was in the middle of talking, just like you left. I was like, you left. Why'd you leave? Silence.
But yeah, as I was saying, he always slams his hand down.
Yeah, he got a freaking tune just stuck in my head for life.
What was the world?
It's like he banged his wedding ring on the table, and it made a different sound. So he had like this beat going every time he was waiting for us to turn papers in, and it's stuck in my head, and I do it all the time now. It really annoys me that I can't stop it.
Dude, I know that feeling. I've picked up so many things from my friends.
Not you anymore.
Like I started saying "my guy" because I picked Brenton.
Hello?
I started saying like "that's fair" because that's just something that a friend Jacob always says.
That's fair.
Like if someone says anything, I'll just be like, "That's fair."
Neither of you experienced this, but I used to be someone who said, "Oh my god" to everything.
I used
Everything.
to be like that. I used to be like that.
It's even more ridiculous because, I'm not religious.
Oh, kill my internet. I'm gonna kill my internet.
Oof.
I'm
So,
gonna do it.
I don't think you can throw hands with the internet, Brenton.
I will. Get the box.
You'll find a way. You will turn
if you've,
your internet box into a robot so that you can throw hands with it.
have you ever read Bone?
Yes.
Nope.
You've not read Bone?
Of course, yes, I've read Bone. You know I've read Bone.
Yeah, I know you've read Bone.
I have not.
It's a comic and it's really interesting.
Oh, the comic book.
I own the entire series in one volume.
Oh my god, I need to borrow that. Please
No.
mail it to me.
No. It is like one of my most prized
never
books.
Freaking remembered there was a series and it was really weird and it was like, okay, I'm gonna describe it just in case either of you have any idea what it is.
Okay.
So, this family, like, I don't know if it's like something they're like someone else in their family owned, or it was this mansion. They move into this mansion, and it's like, I think like one of the kids discovers like, hey, there's some weird
Discovers a weird thing with a weird book.
but like it just
Circle of
like,
mushrooms around the house. Weird
downhill into
creatures.
this freaking crazy thing of like their mom getting stolen by this thing of monsters. Like, I do not remember what it's called, but I just remember that like the main thing I remember. There's two things I remember: them going into a mansion, seeing this weird, and their mom getting stolen by these weird monster things. That is all I remember.
It sounds like Spiderwick Chronicles.
It may be.
Spiderwick
How do you forget about Spiderwick Chronicles?
I have a collector's edition of the Spiderwick Chronicles series. It has all the books in hardback, and it all comes in a nice little chest. I even have an extra story.
It's not though. It's not the Spiderwick Chronicles.
The mom gets stolen.
Okay, there's one book. Or like, it was like a series of children's books.
By the way, did you know bone
to
books are being banned in public schools now?
I'm not surprised they ban everything.
They're kind of violent.
They are pretty violent, to be fair.
Not
but
very.
there was this one, like, children's book series that I used to read all the time. I don't remember what it's called. It's been on my mind, and I need to find it so I can get some copies of it for Avery. And all I remember of it was that it was this little inventor girl who was like really creepy. In the sense
Franny
of,
K.
like,
Stein.
That's it!
I own one of those books.
So much nostalgia just looking at a few things of bone. Oh my god.
It's Franny K. Stein.
Oh my god, Franny K. Stein! Oh my god, it's been...
It's Franny K. Stein. The books are short stories of 3. Hold on, I gotta go find mine now.
Oh my
there it is.
god.
Hold on.
So have either of you heard of a story called Anya's Ghost?
Yes,
No.
we were still going to you were still in North Carolina at that point because we talked about that.
Okay, Anya's Ghost, to let you know, Kylie, is a freaking amazing comic. It's a really good, like,
Here it is.
teen comic. It's very different.
Franny K. Stein, The Three-Headed Book. Yeah. Franny K.
I
Mine.
would never freaking remember the name of that comic.
It's Franny K. Stein by Jim Benton. So, there's this one book that I have. I don't think it has any other books. I think it's a single book, but it's called Skyship Academy: The Pearl Wars. My mother got it for me for my birthday. I don't even know, like several years ago. And I read it, and it was like adult book I'd ever read.
You roboted really hard.
I did.
It was the what?
What was the last thing you heard?
I heard it was the something ever read.
It was the best young adult book I'd ever read at that point.
Really?
Yeah. It was it's been too long. I don't freaking remember the plot, but it was great. I loved it. But
you know what I need to read? I need to read Watership Down. Because I've never read it, and the Netflix movie just came out for it. And I want to watch the movie, but I have to read the book.
Anime, manga, Netflix adaptation.
We don't talk about Death Note.
Hey, I actually kind of like that, so...
I have yet to watch it because Death Note doesn't really interest me.
I have yet to watch it because I've never seen who were like really, really big Death Note anime fans, and apparently the movie totally butchered the characters.
Oh, I know it did. I don't care, it was stupid. It was fun. objectively bad, but fun.
Yeah.
So there's this website, and it's like listening to like.
Are you gonna reconnect?
Hold on.
Okay.
Well, I couldn't last time I tried,
Oh,
and I still can't.
let me reload then.
Lockwood and Co. sounds familiar, but I know it's not it.
Oh. Oops. Let's try that again. Lockwood and Co.
Heard of it, but I know it's not it.
Flint Lockwood!
100 must-read middle-grade fantasy books from the last 10 years.
Oh boy.
Well,
This will be a good
the
list.
fantasy books, not... Do they contain comics? Probably not.
Okay, I restarted the world.
Flowers in the Attic, 1979. Definitely not.
What's the one series? I don't remember what it was, like something Lagoon.
Black Lagoon.
Black Lagoon. Was that it?
The short
Was it
picture
Black
books
Lagoon?
about how the kid doing these new experiences just like were complete nightmares, but in the end they weren't.
I'm seeing an anime comic.
I'm seeing an anime.
Black Lagoon isn't an anime.
Black Lagoon book minus manga. Black Lagoon adventure book series. I think this is it, yeah. Apparently Black Lagoon is a manga too, so that's a thing.
Very
Black
I think
Lagoon.
Black
this
Lagoon,
main
yeah.
character. Okay. Bye-bye. Whatever you are.
Man, I need to buy all these books for my sister. Maybe not Black Lagoon. I don't... Yeah.
Maybe if I look up like middle school comic books.
Are you trying to find Anya's ghost?
No, I know that. I know that one. I don't need to look it up. There's like this freaking one comic. It's the one I was talking about earlier with the freaking mansion and mother getting stolen. But I know I'm never gonna be able to find it.
So it was a graphic novel?
It was a graphic novel. Amulet! Amulet the Stonekeeper. That's what it's called. I read it once.
Oh!
And it's amazing.
That! Oh, I remember Sun Valley had like the one of those books.
It was the first one. That's
Yeah.
what it's called.
That's what it's called.
It was like a whole series, and they only had one of them, and I was so disappointed they only had one of them. It was such a freaking weird book, and I loved it. They had a stuffed rabbit character. Of course, I don't remember that, but I remember the freaking mother getting stolen by these weird tentacle monster things.
I've seen enough hentai to know where that's going.
Dan. And it was like really interesting, and I wish the school had more of them.
Oh crap! Now it's my turn. I don't remember the name of it, but there was a comic. It had, the people made two other books. They made the volcano one, and they made another one about a giant, like ancient robotic beast of some kind that I can't see.
Really weird about like
But-
middle school, like the comics that they put in freaking middle school. Something really weird about them is that they are way more epic than we remember them being most of the time. Like, we remember them as epic, and then we look back at them and it's like, no, this is still kind of awesome. Like, it's why do middle school books have to be so awesome, but then the schools they give us in high school are like garbage? It's like, thanks, school.
Okay.
I love these generic mangas.
But yeah, I don't remember the freaking name of the book, but it was oh, it's a Blood Moon. Are you gonna join back? But it was like this box. This father, he needs to get something for his son, and he knows his son likes to spend time with him, so he gets this box from this really shady dude, and they build like a cardboard boxer, and the guy ends up coming to life.
Ooh, I feel like
Yeah, and one of the rules that the shady guy said was, if you have any scraps, bring them back to me. Of course, they didn't, and they built an infinite cardboard machine out of the scraps.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I have no idea what it's called.
And then the cardboard... Is it just called cardboard? I think it's just called cardboard. Because... It's just called cardboard! It's just called cardboard. It's by...
Unbelievably familiar.
It's by Doug Ten Nepal.
Oh boy.
I have the... Did I just find the entire freaking book on Google? Nope. Okay, no I didn't. Anyway. But yeah, that's what it was that. And then...
I can't believe that a freaking, like, top whatever list actually helped me for once. That is so
Earthworm Jim?
rare.
Bad
Earthworm Jim
Island.
is a game. And a TV show.
Bad Island. Ghostopolis. Cardboard. Tommysaurus Rex. This is what this guy has done. And he's an American animator. So anyway, I'm getting murdered. Please come back. Oh, you're back?
Yeah, and I've died so many times.
I didn't see that.
Enemies hurt.
Yeah, they do.
I have no armor, so that doesn't help. Oh, and Danny, one other thing fun.
What?
The shorter respawn time mod doesn't work with multiplayer.
Yeah, it
As
does.
you could probably have told already.
It did.
No, the instant respawn is something different.
Oh, that's right.
Faster respawn means it would just respawn in a few seconds. It does not work on multiplayer for some reason.
Are they giving me blindness?
Yes, they are actually giving you horror. Oh, the horror. There are a lot of blood dribblers.
Hey, it's a Groom.
Careful, man. Those things have a lot of health.
Gave you a yo-yo. It's pretty much the best weapon we have right now. When I'm not out of mana.
And our slime staff. Don't go over there. Kill this thing. Kill this thing. No, kill. Fine. Cardboard.
It's Cardboard by Ted Nepal. No, Dean, whatever.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, he did Bad Island and Volcano. I believe he did Volcano. I know he did Bad Island and Ghostopolis.
Well, mine is just everything nostalgia. You want to know something funny though?
What?
I know I've done that before with Amulet. I know I've done that exact same thing before. I was like, what is this book called?
I think with me too, because I remember you freaking out about what is this book called? With
And I remember
this
doing the exact same thing with Anya's Ghost.
That one I answered for you because I knew that one.
Anya's Ghost is actually amazing though.
It is. I wish they do like a second one, but also no, because it's like one of those things you want to keep going, but you don't want to keep going because then it would be wrong.
For some reason, I just like, as a freaking probably like, I want to say 12 when I read that book. Maybe older, maybe not. It just seemed, I don't know, I just felt so, I felt so freaking cool at the time. Reading a book where like the characters were sneaking off and smoking and like actually swearing. It's like, yeah. And then looking at it now, it's like, that's funny. I want to read it again. That's crazy.
What is
Neon
Blood Orb
is
useful
insane.
for?
Something much later. Actually,
It doesn't even show up in the crafting menu.
you're probably in one of the
Oh.
tabs.
Mic off. Mic on.
And yet I'm not gonna get to sleep in tomorrow again. Fun. Oh, there we go. I was in a search for some reason.
I think that's just crazy alone, me saying that I want to read something, let alone read it again. Like, I'm pretty sure all my friends know I don't read.
You don't read.
Like, all my friends like, hey, have you ever read this? It's like, what's reading? It's funny because, like, in middle school, like, we'd always have to go to the library every so often. We didn't have to check out books, but it was, like, just the whole class would end up going to the library and be like, everyone was like, yeah, we're here, why not?
I loved going to the library though.
At the time I did, because comics.
Well, also, get away from all the stupid shit.
Yeah, but
Except for when the
comics.
stupid shit happened in the library.
Freaking our high school, that was one of the best thing about our high school, is that it actually had an amazing selection of comics before they just randomly decided to start banning them. Like, no sir. I want Amulet. Volume 2. I want to know what happened to their mother. Ow.
This hurts. Oh, you move faster when you're pissed. Okay.
Cardboard was freaking weird.
Cardboard?
Cardboard was weird. It was really weird.
Well, that guy's books are weird. That's one of his things.
What's funny is that, like, I really, like, easily recognize so many scenes that I'm looking at on Google, but I genuinely do not remember ever reading it. But it's very clear to me that I have.
I remember because it was Bob the Boxer. And his legs got soaked off and they had to fix him somehow.
I remember that. One thing I remember is that there was this, like, edgy, like, antagonist kid.
The edgy antagonist emo kid who ended up getting his ass handed to him.
He also got turned into cardboard, and one thing I remember, like, looking at it now, like, one of the things I remember about him that I found weird when I was younger is that for some reason his, like, giant monster form had, like, fingernails, and I found that really weird as a kid. Like, oh, he's got nails. That was back when I thought, like, any male character
It's daytime!
with lips or nails was, like, weird.
I got an agile zombie arm. That was nice. Also, beds are broken. I forgot that was true. That was the thing.
I don't think they're broken, I think they have to be in a house.
You think they have to be in like an actual house?
Like, with walls, table, chair.
Okay. Let's give that a shot then. Did our guide die?
Well, yeah, obviously.
My mom popped her head out. I was just like, you realize we're going to be getting you up at 8, right? It's like, yeah. And that means you're going to get 5 hours sleep. Yeah. She was like being really loud about it too. It's like, yes, yes, yes. I understand this. Oh, yeah, you do. Because that actually worked.
Where's it, like, edgy emo kid was not actually, like, an antagonist, he was just a dick.
He was just a dick.
He was, like, actually one of the main characters, too, so that's what made it weirder. Like, he sucks. He sucks